Happy New Year, everyone. If you can hear me, please make a sign. When I go live, I do not wait for audience. And I do not pick time to go live. When I come live, it's because I have something that is irritating my stomach, which I must share online. I do not come live because I want to show my face, which all of you know so well. There is nobody who has not heard my voice in Cameroon here who does not know my voice. There is nobody in Cameroon who does not know my face, even before the Anglophone crisis. I do not come live on social media because I want to spend data or because I want to show myself. I come live because there is something important that I must pass through to the society which will help to build this nation called Cameroon. Happy New Year once again, and I'm saying that if you can hear me, because I can see myself, but I cannot hear myself here, please make a sign. Let me know that you are hearing me. I am going to be very brief, and if it is necessary, I may also speak in Pidgin. But I'm doing this in English because I know that our French-speaking compatriots don't understand Pidgin. And I don't want this message to be hidden. The topic that brought me online is Ayah Paul and his son. It's not about the jokes they are making on social media about a court case or so on and so on. Frankline Njume, yes, sitting and talking, live into 2020. I have seen death, and I have overcome it. I have a mission given to me by God, and it shall be fulfilled. And I will go away at its own ordained time. I am a rock because Jesus is a solid rock upon which I am standing. We have to be careful. Ayah Paul Abine, go to his Facebook profile. Begin with his profile picture. You will see him wearing the cap of an elite, dressed like an elite. I am saying this to the authorities of this nation and to politicians who think that they can toy with somebody as dangerous as Ayah Paul because they want political gains, and yet lives are going. Ayah Paul is an elite in Manu. He's an elder, very renowned, with a very huge following. Ayah Paul has been a magistrate in this country all his life and has even been to the Supreme Court. He is popular, he has a following. Ayah Paul has been presidential candidate in this country, making impact as an opposition party leader. I know what I'm talking about. Me, I be Tombe Pikin, because I know what Pap did in Tombe. And all of us appreciated the fact that the Southwest is having at least a politician who can make us heard within that the sphere of politics. Ayah Paul is very popular. For us to sit and joke with his utterances on social media and his declarations, I think we don't know what to take serious if we take people like Ayah Paul lightly. Ayah Paul is an error of liberty and the biggest mistakes that Cameroon has ever made to liberate people who have been convicted rightly and justly. Giving mercy to the wrong people, Ayah and Bala, they come from the Southwest. For those who say I am xenophobic, when the interest of Cameroon is threatened, expect to see Njume as a lion. I do not toil with this country because I don't know no other country. This is where I was born. This is where I was brought up. This is where I became a man and a father. This is where I have made my life, and this is where I will die and be buried. We do not have to play with this country. Its destiny is tomorrow. Ayah Paul is not somebody we should take lightly. When he says those things on social media, you need to know the impact that he has on surrogates, on the gullible and very feeble-minded Cameroonians, whose only potential is violence, illiterates, who just need a follower. We have many youths today who have been derailed because they are hero worshippers. They are fanatics. They just need to believe in Jude because this is pure temptation. How can somebody who knows me very well be giving me a call at this time when I'm live? This live video will not be obstructed because Cameroon needs this message in 2020. Do not take Ayah Paul lightly. Ayah Paul created the refugees that have been living in Nigeria since the beginning of this crisis. Ayah Paul challenged me at one time when I put the nationality of those refugees or those externally displaced Cameroonians into question, saying that I put the question that how can we have a crisis and Cameroonians are running to other safe havens inside Cameroon, and a certain group of Cameroonians choose to flee the country under the influence of people like Ayah? And I raised the doubt that how are we sure that those people who are fleeing to Nigeria are Cameroonians in the first place? Ayah Paul put my photo on his wall. It is still there now. My wife was in the background. I was in the Douala Central Market to do some purchases for kids. That time we had this the talk, philanthropic initiative, just very informal on social media, where we're contributing money to see how we can help the paupers whose parents could not afford to give them basic needs so that they can attend classes. I was in Limbe at that time. Ayah Paul wrote terrible and horrible things, inviting terrorists to get at me for asking why Cameroonians have to flee for safety to Nigeria. In the course of time, the externally displaced persons became refugees, and Ayah had employment, retirement employment on those refugees. He and his son went ahead and created an NGO, formal or informal, but which is popular, on which they were begging for things to offer to the refugees, behind which they themselves too were earning a living. Up till now that we are speaking, the foundation Ayah Paul created to help refugees, which he created, has been a great source of support for his family financially, especially now that he's on retirement, complaining about fish and his stomach. The only time we heard him talk back to Amazonia and even try to, dissociate himself with that particular act of theirs, which was, putting our people on several days of sit-home strike. Or I don't know. Ayah Paul has already built for himself a source of income in the refugees, so that he will lick his fingers through the crumbs that are coming from the diaspora or whoever to enable those Cameroonians who were manipulated by the same Ayah Paul, their elite, to flee and leave. A man in whom they believe. Most of those people who flee were the former members of Ayah Paul's party, the PAP party. And they could only believe in their leader in whom they trust as somebody who has a lot of wisdom and influence in Cameroon, and who they thought was telling them the right thing. It's been many years. Those guys have been hanging in Nigeria. Some of us have been getting very desperate calls from them. They cannot even feed or drink or sleep well. Some of them have been dying of small illnesses like common malaria because they don't have a proper refugee status there in Nigeria. And Nigeria, as we know, is a very populated country that cannot even support the livelihood of most of its citizens. That's why you see them in South Africa. Despite the xenophobia there, they prefer to die there than go back to their country because the conditions are not good. These are people who have been forced to leave Manu, a land of plenty, the land of fufu and ero and gari, by Ayah Paul. And they are in Nigeria. Now, if you go to his wall, you will see a lot of hate about Cameroon. Ayah Paul has invited a lot of people to hate our country. A lot of citizens, true-born citizens of Cameroon, not to believe in their country, to know that their country is demonic, is evil. Their country hates them. There's no opportunity in Cameroon for them. Cameroon holds no future for them. That is what he spends his time writing on his Facebook wall, discrediting this country, discrediting the authorities of the country, the government, and anybody who is trying to stand that we, despite our problems, should remain one and united as a country and see how we can solve our problems together and remain as a nation, the nation we made. He was not born in two Cameroons. Ayah Paul. Ayah Paul has stigmatized Cameroonians and has given us a third nationality. Or let's say a second nationality. We are Cameroonians or Cameroonais. Ayah Paul calls us Cameroonese. Ayah Paul is making a mockery of Cameroonian nationality and Cameroon in itself, dissociating himself completely from the nation Cameroon. He chooses to be a separatist, and that is why he has allowed his face on the 50 in quote amber currency, which has never surfaced. A currency that terrorists will never demand from anybody whom they have kidnapped. They ask the franc CFA, our money. Ayah Paul, his face is on the 50 amber fake currency of separatists, and he has never denounced anywhere that he hates seeing himself on a separatist currency. That is high treason. He hates our country and supports its separation and supports the separatists. Go and see his wall. You will see many times where he appreciates the work of Mark Barata and all the other Ambazonian ringleaders. We are talking here about people who are ordering from abroad, the killing of our people, the kidnapping of our people, the slaughtering of our people, you know, the watering down of the economic operations of our country by ghost town. People who have deprived our children of school, of education, people who are killing our patients in the hospitals and burning the hospitals. Those are the people Ayah Paul supports. The Ayah Paul that politicians and the authorities that be in this country are joking with. The whole of his Facebook wall, Ayah Paul will only write and tell you how evil and wicked the Cameroonian army is. Our pride, the people who sleep, who do not sleep when we sleep, the people who have offered up their whole body for our security. How much are soldiers paid in this country, and who can ever pay them? They stand in the gap for us for Boko Haram. Where was Ayah Paul? They stand in the gap for us in Bakassi. Where was Ayah Paul? Ayah Paul will sit and write all sorts of lies, bring images which are not related to Cameroon, post on his Facebook wall and relate them to the Cameroonian army, painting them black before the world and before Cameroonians, that they are very wicked, evil, and bad people, causing the international community to doubt Cameroon, the island of peace, as a country which can actually secure the peace of its citizens. This is the Ayah Paul you people are joking with. That's the Ayah Paul who has freedom and liberty to move about. Of recent, he picked on this young man who has decided to become the newest prodigal son in Cameroon, together with Nambere. I don't want to talk much about Nambere because somewhere along the line, I'm waiting to see him live. I spoke to him and God used my voice. And they are nothing in the nothing that I am to appeal to Nambere. He himself published parts of those conversations, of that conversation on WhatsApp. And today Nambere is a prodigal son, together with Dr. Success Congo, the very succulent, handsome, soft-spoken, and enlightened Manu Spechi, one of my newest friends, a very nice guy, who is acting like the Moses of our time, bringing Cameroonians out of the dungeon of the Egypt of Nigeria, in which many of them have lost their life because of poor conditions. When you are a pauper, you are in Egypt. When you are a pauper and you are begging to eat and drink and sleep, you are in Egypt. Some people are telling me that I quoted the wrong example. They were in Egypt. There is nowhere like home. Success Congo is bringing back those people to Cameroon. And Ayah has a problem with that. Go to Facebook and scroll down. There is nowhere that Success Congo attacked Ayah Paul. The most I saw them in a picture, they were working together for what they believed in as a separate country. Success Congo has realized that that is a myth, it's a dream that cannot be realized in actual time and sense. And he decided to turn a new leaf. And Ayah Paul is very angry at that separatist who has converted converted himself into a Cameroonian, into a prodigal son, and has decided to go back to his senses and bring other people back home and to their senses. Ayah Paul has a problem with that young man. Where did Success Congo insult Ayah Paul? Where did he attack him? Ayah Paul initiated the attacks. Get it straight. Because he has touched upon his fortune, the magazine, the store, the supermarket. You know, the source, his own sonara, which he opened in Nigeria, using refugee as an excuse to make wealth. And so, when Success Congo challenged that, by taking those guys away and saying nothing to Ayah Paul took offense. Why is Ayah Paul against the return of Cameroonians back to the fatherland? If he's not a Maquisard, if he's not an armed robber, if he's not, you know, dealing with arms, if he's not supplying Ambazonians through his purported, in quote, humanitarian organization, if Ayah Paul is not giving bombs and ammunition to the Ambazonian rebels, why is he against the return of Cameroonians from Nigeria? Why is Ayah Paul against peace in this country? Why is he picking offense with everybody who makes sense in this country? Why did Ayah Paul not, you know, attend to the golden and glorious invitation the Prime Minister gave him to attend the national dialogue and the pre-consultation talks, which I was refused as a patriot? I did not have that privilege. Ayah Paul is evil. An evil we should not continue to underlook. That is if we love this country and its future. This crisis has been evolving, and there are many faces. We are almost thinking that the crisis is dying down now. But we have in Cameroon a ringleader of Ambazonia walking freely about. And that, you know, it causes some of us to begin to think that even those who are abroad, that we do not want to apprehend, that the state does not want to cause their, you know, their arrest or repatriation or some kind of something to bring them in front of the law. Those boys have never answered one question for killing people in Cameroon. We don't need to go far. Ayah Paul is here, roaming about, free. Agbobala is here, roaming about, free. There's another one they call Adu Karim. They're all around. Ambazonians in Cameroon. And the government, I'm sorry to say, the state, I don't even know who to accuse. The authorities concerned are taking that as a joke. Whereas these guys are concocting now, as we speak, a new phase of the crisis that will also run through this 2020, killing innocent people and taking away innocent lives, ruining the lives of people, making people to be hopeless, making people to be refugees in their country. Oh, God. We need to come to reason and take things serious once and for all. The laissez-faire is killing people. That's the problem. The laissez-faire is killing people. It's making people homeless. It's making people to live in places where they don't want to live. It's making people to go out of their natural environment. The farmers are displaced. Did they go along with their farms? You have teenagers displaced without parents. Have we gotten to that? That we don't want to do everything possible to stop that thing this year? Ayah Paul spends his time blackmailing the Cameroonian army. And I want to tell you people today, and that is what brought me on social media now, that all the soldiers they are beheading in the northwest and the southwest, all the soldiers, they are, you know, cutting off their manhood and preparing parts of their body in occultic shrines in the northwest and southwest. All those people Ambazonia is killing, especially the soldiers and men in uniform. Ayah Paul prepared the population for that through his Facebook communications, where he's inciting violence against the men in uniform and causing enmity between them and the civil public, which they are saving. Do those soldiers actually mean something to us? Is Ayah Paul more precious to Cameroon than the Cameroonian soldiers? I'm speaking like this with a lot of passion because I was trained by a policeman. He paid my fees. a police constable. Those people are family heads. They are breadwinners. And the only crime they commit is that their vocation has a uniform to serve fatherland. And somebody spends all his time telling Cameroonians on social media, as popular as he is, as I've already introduced in the beginning of this video, that Ayah is too popular for us to joke with. He has a following, an illiterate following, a dangerous following, that act on his words, that hate what he hates. People who love what he loves and hate what he hates. Those are the same people who go about waylaying soldiers, even inside the bathroom, even when they are taking lunch, slaughtering them and posting their heads and necks and body parts, their manhood in public, for their children to see, for their mother to see, for their sisters to see and their brothers to see. Can we mourn those people a bit by arresting Ayah Paul and the son? I am a teacher, you know it. Ayah Paul is a magistrate. His son Ayah Abine, with that very huge mark here, like a mad cow that missed slaughtering during Christmas and ran away helter-skelter for his life. What is Ayah Abine doing for a livelihood? My question this Sunday. That is a trained NJ staff who has abandoned duty but was collecting salary. I don't know whether he's still collecting salary. That is a civil servant who has seen gain in cheap cash that he can easily make by putting appeals here and there in diplomatic offices, begging ambassadors and all the people who support madness in this world, because we're in the end time, and is making a fortune out of it. That's the same guy who wrote on his wall the other day, accusing the entire Cameroonian government of being homosexual. Why? Because Kiki Bandi, a very popular blogger and my friend, on whom I differ as far as lesbianism or homosexuality is concerned, and especially where she links herself to it and Cameroon, saying that she's a Cameroonian lesbian. Lesbianism, homosexuality is a taboo and illegal in Cameroon, punishable by the law. Ayah Abine, the son of Ayah Paul, has a difference with Kiki Bandi, who was about giving charity to that organization so that they can lend a hand to the suffering masses. Kiki is a patriot, but I know she has a very good heart. Because of that difference, Ayah Abine refuses the money. I take him right for that, because he's not supposed to collect money from the coffers of the devil. Money, lesbian money, the money of a lesbian is evil money. Ayah Paul's son refused to collect that money. And maybe there was a squabble between the two of them. And somewhere along the line, boom, because social media is their restroom, you know, where they come and pour, vomit garbage. Go to his wall right now. I did a screenshot of that. It's on my wall. Ayah Abine, the son of Ayah Paul Abine, writes something on his wall that his life is being threatened in Cameroon because the government hates him for hating homosexuality. Come on! Kiki Bandi lives in Britain. Completely and totally. How does Ayah Paul's son link that to Cameroon? If you want to see people who hate this country to the core, they don't love our nation and they will never love it. Where did he come from with that? That Cameroon is homosexual. If you say the government of Cameroon is homosexual, it means Cameroon is homosexual. Whereas we have legislation banning that in Cameroon, forbidding that in Cameroon. And you allow that kind of a person to go about freely. He is guest of all the enemy TV stations in Cameroon, those who hate this country and want to see it in pieces. The TV stations that our system cannot discipline or censor. Private TV stations who are supporting terrorism and terrorists and ringleaders and communicating their events. The Ayah family will write a hate statement on Facebook in the morning. In the afternoon, it is breaking news in Equinox TV. We need a nation. We need a nation. We don't have one because there is no discipline here. It is whoever who does whatever, putting the lives of people at stake everywhere. I'm almost done with this video. Ayah Paul is dangerous. That is the message. And don't joke with danger. Because our soldiers, may their souls rest in peace, are more precious to us than that family alone. How many orphans has the hate of Ayah Paul created? How many widows? Can he pay the loss of our soldiers? Killed because of his hate statements? Go to his wall up till now. You will see pictures that Ayah Paul is gathering from nowhere and telling the world that they are acts committed by our soldiers before they became soldiers. Tell Ayah Paul that those people were Cameroonians. They are born and bred of our blood. They are our brothers, our sisters. We love them. There is no crime for somebody to follow his vocation and passion in life. I am a teacher. When you take me out of the classroom, you've taken something out of me. I must always be in a milieu where I can transmit knowledge, inform, communicate, and enlighten people. That is what I was born for. And that's why I'm on social media. And that's why my voice counts up to today. Have we not had enough of this Ayah Paul family? Are you waiting for the international community to do justice to the dead soldiers? Are you waiting for international community to take Ayah Paul and dump him into everlasting life jail with the other fools, Seseko and the rest, and with the Tachangs? Well, Happy New Year to all the viewers. You can share this if you like it. Stay blessed. Nothing has happened to me. Nothing will happen to any patriot. You'll be blessed because you love Cameroon and because you're doing the right thing. We shall not stop. I want to greet in passing this young man who has told the world already that he's my son. He is coded but very useful, my country people. You are God sent, like Gellam Dixon, like Success Congo and all the patriots. Cameroon will remain. The truth is very powerful. You need just a few people to speak the truth. It has quality, it has power. And it's going to bring down and water down all the lies and the efforts of the enemies of our country. We were born into one country. And that is how we shall live it. Nobody has the power to separate this country. Whatever thing you do, do not tamper with your nation. It is your pride. No matter the nationality you take thereafter, your place of birth, and that very particular spot where your placenta was buried remains precious to you. That is why I cannot spend a month without paying tribute to Nyasoso, where I was born, and where my placenta is sleeping now with my mother and my grandparents who have gone ahead to the land where we hope to follow, when we must have accomplished our mission here on earth. A lot of courage to you, patriots, who have stood the test of time. Nobody can pay you for that. And nothing will happen to you for doing the right thing. Keep the faith. Pray for our nation. And keep hope alive. It shall be well for us. And there must be doom in the homes of the likes of Ayah Paul Abine. If the authorities of the land don't want to fight him with the legal means available, the gods of Cameroon, I am talking as a Bantu, as an African, the spirits that put this nation together, will fight this Ayah Paul man of a canker worm who spends all his time